So good morning. This is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022, and it's about 7:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I actually made a video a few minutes ago, but somehow I must have been on pause the whole time. And so anyway, I'm going to redo this. But what happened was I was talking about the market, and the ES was somewhere about here. Let's see where I go back to the ES. About here, and I paused the market so I can get out of my positions. And I sold out on all my positions. I bought up in here, so when the market came down here, I made a lot of money. But again, that's all on paper. Doesn't mean anything until you sell. You gotta remember, selling is the other half of the game. So I don't care if you're up $1 million. If you don't sell, you have nothing. You have zero until you sell. So I didn't sell, but I was thinking earlier when the market was down here. Go down to the daily chart. When it was down here, that I was going to sell my positions because I have January puts, and then I was going to switch them over to February puts and buy back in. And so that would have been ideal, but I didn't do that. So I lost a pretty good chunk of money here, but again, I didn't lose anything because it was all on paper. And since I did buy up in here, I still have a pretty good profit. So that's a pretty good lesson to learn. I mean, nothing's going to be perfect all the time, but the good thing about this is I got out because I saw the strength in this market. I looked at all the underlying stocks, and even though 4 of them had some alerts this morning, they went down, they're actually in the positive, they're in the green, and all the other stocks are in the green too. So that means there's some power behind this move. And if I would have stayed in, let's see where we at, 55. It's up 10 points higher than when I got out. So I would have been even had less money. And the thing about options is there's a time value. So even though I bought up here, when the market could have came up here, I would have been at break even, because I would have lost all that time. So you got to watch out about options. When it gets back up here, then I'm at a pretty big loss, and that's where I bought. It's not like stocks. Then you'd be break even. It's not like that. But the good thing about options is the value that I gain from here to here is 10, 20, 30 times that of a stock. Even more than that. But again, you have to watch for the time that it takes to get to where you want it to go. So my plan now is to get back in, thinking at this point that the Dow's probably going to come up to about here and then kind of settle down and maybe start heading down again. But we're heading into Christmas, so not too sure what's going to happen at this point. But if you look at the overall picture, the market came down and it retraced. And that's what these markets do. They come down, they retrace, they come down, they retrace. So this is nothing unusual for this to happen. So my intuition was right. I should have got out here, and I should have switched over to the February options. But I didn't do that. And but I can still do it because I still have the opportunity. And like I said, I didn't take a loss. I actually had a gain, a pretty good size. Well, it's an okay gain. It's all relative, but it's still a gain. And most people, 90% of the people, they don't even have a gain. They take losses, and then more losses and more losses. And you can't really do that with options, because even though I would have stayed with it, it came up here and then turned around and came back down. By the time it came here, the options might have been expired, worthless. So that's what you got to watch out for options. So I always buy my options at least 2 months out. This time I didn't, only because it was probably a month and a half. Let's see. Yeah, it was about a month out. Just because I thought the market was going to continue further, and it didn't do that. It will. But, those are the things that that happen. I'm not going to hit it 100% all the time. But again, I got a profit from here. Didn't get any loss at all. And if I do take a loss, I want to make sure that the loss is very minimal, because plenty of opportunities. So again, what's going on here is the market is doing its normal thing. It comes down, it retraces, comes down, retraces. So that's what it did. It came down and it's retracing, and then eventually it's going to turn around and come down. So the question is when. So you can be right but still lose money. And so I've already gone through that before. I'm not going to make that mistake again, and that's why I got out. So I'm going to wait and see how this thing pans out today, tomorrow, and then I'll get back in. And I might not get back in until it breaks this line and starts coming down here, because like I said before, we've got lots of opportunities here. This market still has to come way down to here. So look at all these opportunities in here, tons of them. And so I don't want to blow my account where I can't trade again. Of course that's not going to happen, because I haven't done that in, whatever, 15 years or something. But I don't do that anymore. What most people do, they blow their accounts and then they can't trade, and then they lose out on all this. So so that's where we're at. And keep you posted on what's going on. Again, this is a buy-sell game. If you don't sell, you're only playing half the market, and you're going to definitely lose your money, because you have to play the entire market, which is buy and sell. You buy down here, you sell here. Or if it starts coming down here, you sell here, because now you're starting to lose your profits. You want to get out. Same thing what I did today. I bought up here, came down here, and I noticed the market is pretty strong going up, so I sold. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, this market could turn around actually today and just dump. Probably not going to happen, but if it did, I'll get back in down here. No big deal. Got all these opportunities here. And I know that's a tough one for a lot of people, because they don't want to lose out. They want to keep up with the Joneses. They want to, they look back in the past and say, I could have, I would have, I should have. And you don't want to do that. You want to not look back in the past. Say, okay, I took a profit here, and it's okay. And so I'm just looking at that profit right now. You don't want to beat yourself up over these markets, because you got to remember that whatever you're feeling right now, your next decision is going to be based on that. So if I'm feeling really good right now because I got out, no regrets, I'm feeling real good, that means the next decision I make in this market is going to be a good decision. If I stayed with it and took a loss, and then I'm feeling bad about myself, and then I try to get in, that decision is going to be based on that. And that's not going to be a good decision. I always make decisions based on a good feeling. Sometimes I don't, but I'm at least in the 90% range. And I do that with everything in my life. If somebody comes to me and they want to sell me something and I'm not sure about it, I'm just not going to buy it, because I have to be sure. I'll maybe go home, think about it, and try to get a good feeling. If I don't, I'm not going to buy it. Even if they say, oh, you only have 24 hours to buy this, otherwise price goes up, I won't do it. I'm not going to be pressured into anything. And that's, especially that logic, intuitive sense makes sense in this market. You don't want to go against that, You always want to have a really good feeling before you get into this market. And if you're not, you're anxious and you're nervous and you have some fear, you just don't want to get in, because all your decisions are going to be based on that. And there's a good 95% chance you're going to lose. And if for whatever reason you don't, and you get lucky and you make money, you're going to be worse off, because that means your next decision might be a bigger money decision, meaning that you're going to put more money into that. And then when you are taking a loss, you're not going to get out. So you're starting to build a habit. So you want to start building habits of feeling good about the decisions that you make going into the market. So this decision I made here is a really good decision. I feel real good. I feel really clear. And now I'm just going to wait and get in. So that might be the hardest part about trading. I don't care what system somebody has. If they're not teaching you the psychology of it, you're going to lose. Guaranteed, 100%. Okay, so that's the lesson for today. Check back in with you tomorrow and see where this market is, and then I'll let you know when I do get into another position. I want to be 100% transparent with you on when I enter the market, when I get out. But I'm not going to tell you how much I'm making, because that's not important. And let's see what else. Yeah, I'm just not going to tell you how much I'm making, because that's not important. I want you to decide on what you want to do, but I will tell you when I get into the market and when I'm getting out of the market. And then you decide at that point what you want to do. But being 100% transparent, you know I did get in here. You can look at my past videos, and I just told you that I got out. So everything's on video, everything's real right here. I'm telling you everything that I've been doing, but again, I'm not showing you my profit. But as you know, if you already have some experience and I got in here and I got out here, I have a profit. So there's nothing else really to say other than that. I'm not showing you how much I make, because I don't think that would be fair. Because if you're trying to compare yourself with me, I've got 24 years experience. It's not fair. But I'm trying to mentor you, so this way you can build up these good habits of trading, which my mentors did teach me some of that, but they didn't really teach me the psychological part, and I wish they would have done that. It would have saved me a lot of time and money. And if you go online and you see these people that are trading and they're not telling you the psychology part, and some of them are, but it's based on fear. And when it's based on fear, it's not going to help. Like looking back into your past and looking at your mistakes, it's pretty clear. You don't really have to look at your mistakes, and if you do, you look at it once and then you're done. You move forward, and you don't want to keep dwelling on those things. Otherwise, like I said, your decisions are all going to be based on how you're feeling. And if you're feeling like you're feeling any regrets, then your next decision in the market is going to be based on that negative feeling, and chances are you're going to lose money, and it could be a lot of money. Okay, that's it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.